Good morning. Welcome to Finding the Calm in the Chaos. Go ahead and say hi if you're here, if you're tuning in live, or you're catching up with the replay. Let me know you're here. So today I wanted to dig into this one because how many of us have been there? 3 ways to relax when you feel overwhelmed. You know, we're kind of starting to get into not kind of starting. Thanksgiving's just 2 weeks away, right? Just a couple weeks away. And you may already be feeling like, oh, here come the holidays, right? And so today I just want to talk with you about a couple different things, ways you can help yourself in the sense of feeling a little more relaxed when you feel overwhelmed. So, couple of things. One, I want to let you know inside the Finding the Calm in the Chaos next week on Monday, the 14th, I'll be kicking off the 5 steps in saying yes to you. And I want to just invite you into that group. You are in that group if you're here, obviously. But if you have a friend or a family member that you've been talking with and you're like, oh my gosh, I really need some centering, I need some consistency, I need some, I just need to hear something that gives me permission that it's okay to say yes to myself. Come inside that class next week, that workshop I'm kicking off. And so letting them know it will be running at next week during the day, but the replays will be up for a limited time. So be sure to sign up because I'll be sending a couple other items along with that. So the link is up in the banner here. So, all right, let's kick this off. 3 ways to relax when you're feeling overwhelmed. Let's first take a deep breath because we know when we feel overwhelmed, right, our body just goes into this state of stress. And you can try the diet. You can, be saying, oh my gosh, I got my food figured out. I'm a couple of weeks in and I'm really doing well with that. I'm doing the movement, but I just am not seeing anything feel or look different. And that can be our stress response acting in. So one of the things when we feel overwhelmed that you can do is actually visualize what it would be like if you weren't overwhelmed. So you want to start with giving yourself that space to just breathe. Taking a couple of minutes for a pause can be so powerful. And then actually putting a visualization component to it. I do this in my coaching, is really realizing I get to decide who I want to be. You get to decide who you want to be. So if you want to continue to be this person who does over and over and over again, does the same thing and feels stuck and feels overwhelmed, that's a loop you're going to stay in unless you visualize something different or try. So being open to say, what would be possible if I wasn't overwhelmed? And just take a few minutes, go in a quiet space, go outside. I think nature is so powerful. Being outside, changing your state, going from if you're inside working all the time, you feel overwhelmed at maybe your to-do list, is just walk away from it and just get the perspective of saying, what if I wasn't overwhelmed? What could be possible then? And dream. We're okay to do that. So think about taking that minute for yourself, those couple of minutes, and go sit outside with a warm cup of coffee or tea or whatever it is, or a glass of water, and just give yourself the space to breathe. Consciously creating some space for a pause is so important, and it will help your overwhelm. I see this power in rest and actually stepping away from everyday life, stepping away from, I have an intentional plan of self-care where I do disconnect and get away from my own house. This weekend, I was able to get away and go into nature and be in a connection with a group of women, including my mom and sisters and some friends, very close friends, that it was just such a beautiful time to nourish ourselves and slow down. And we start to gain a different perspective when we give ourselves that pause. So take a minute to visualize what could it be like if you supported yourself, if you could breathe, if you felt more calm, if you felt more relaxed. The second one is starting a morning routine. You get to drink a glass of water, you get to write in your journal, you get to make yourself a good nourishing meal, you get to practice movement, whatever that is for you, without like the have to or, I need to, is what would feel good to start your day off with. And, start small, one thing, and just build upon that. This is where in coaching, we build upon that. We habit stack. And so it might start out with just a few minutes of a devotional or a walk in your day. Whatever it is a lot of times when we feel overwhelmed, we're doing something for everybody else but ourselves. And so just taking a few minutes to create that momentum in the morning to start your day off where you feel empowered and not defeated. So what is your morning routine? Drop it in the chat. If you have one and you've been great about this, that's awesome. If you're one like, I tried it, it was working, things got crazy, and I lost all of it, be honest with yourself. It's okay. Drop that in the chat. Raise your hand and say, me. I have some resources for you. The third one, and this one I think is so important, is, last week I talked about the brain dump. When we have this busyness always that we've created, and it's one of those things that there's more underneath that. But the thing is when we brain dump and we see everything on paper, we start to maybe see things that we haven't finished. And so what I would invite you to do is just pick one thing that you haven't finished that is really weighing on you. And it could be something so small. And I encourage you, if this feels like I really need a win in this area, I feel so overwhelmed, start with something small. You don't need to start with like redoing your whole closet or finishing that big scrapbook that you want to finish. It's maybe, just looking at what is it? Maybe I want to clean off my desk. Maybe it's I need to organize my bedroom. And that might just be just taking a few minutes. And a lot of times what this is we feel overwhelmed because we haven't had that success in some area of our life. And it might be all of our areas of our life. So just asking yourself, where is one area or one thing that's on that to-do list, either in your head or hopefully you've took my, offer of an idea last week to say, try a brain dump, just dump it all out there. It's like taking that junk drawer, dumping it out, and now we want to reorganize it. We want to take one thing, and right now you just get to focus on, let's say, organizing the pens in your drawer. It's one of those things, or the paper clips, whatever it is, just figuratively in your life. Is it, doing that one thing can set you up on kind of a wave of seeing, oh my gosh, I feel the success in there. Now I want to do the next thing. And don't worry about the next thing. Just have that success of feeling that accomplishment and relieving that piece of stress. So that's what I have for you today. These are just 3 simple ways to get out of that feeling of overwhelm. Visualize what you want. Give yourself that pause to get some clarity about what does that look like, and maybe start dreaming and thinking about what is it that when I do have success of not feeling overwhelmed? What do I want to feel instead? Number 2 was starting a morning routine. Getting your day started on the right foot can make all the difference. And number 3 is complete something that you started. It's that pull that you hear, that maybe that inner critic that comes up that says, yep, you haven't done that yet, have you? You said you would do it. So today, let's change that voice in your head by completing just one thing that says, I did it. So let me know, come back in the chat here and tell me, is there one thing that you're going to complete by the end of the day today so that you can create that win and that momentum? And then which of these 3 are you going to put into practice? So I hope you have a great rest of the week. Be sure to sign up for Saying Yes to You, because there's other things behind that. I'm planning next year already, and I've got some pretty exciting stuff on the way. So, all right, take care and have a great day. Remember, the only way you calm your chaos, it starts with you.